Hello and welcome to another video from roehrlemobility GmbH. Today I'm going to introduce the 991 GT3 to you again, because in my opinion we have a truly perfect example here today. In the top configuration it really looks fantastic. And today we're going to dive a bit deeper into the details, especially regarding the equipment, the production numbers, and the 991 GT3 model in general. So I think you can already hear it. We're now out on the country road with the GT3. Let's maybe start right away with our vehicle. A quick overview. It's a 991.2 GT3, the 4-litre facelift version with 500 horsepower. We now have just under 23,000 kilometers on the car. It's a GT silver metallic. The color really strikes a good balance between elegance and still looking very sporty. Yes, about the model history of the 991 GT3. The 991 GT3 is the successor to the 997 and was built from 2013 to 2018. There were two model series. First, the 0.1, meaning the pre-facelift, and then the 0.2, which is the facelift model. Apart from that, there were also the RS models. Those came onto the market in 2015 with the 0.1 version. And with the 0.2 in 2018, the main difference between the pre-facelift and the post-facelift is actually the engines. The 991.1, meaning the pre-facelift, was equipped with the 3.8-litre engine, which is also somewhat known for having issues with the camshaft. Yes, and in the 0.2 we then have the 4-litre engine installed, which is still used in the 992 today. That's really a fantastic engine, which basically has hardly any teething problems. With 500 horsepower, it really packs a punch, and as a pure 6-cylinder boxer, naturally aspirated engine, it's just a lot of fun. Let's move on to the production numbers of the 991 GT3. There are significant differences compared to the 997 GT3, so the predecessor, just for comparison, with the 997 across the entire model range, that is pre-facelift and facelift GT3 and GT3S, we have a total production number of 7,600 vehicles built. I'll just list them now for the 991. If we start with the pre-facelift, the 991.1 GT3, we already have a production number of 6,300 vehicles just for that. Then the pre-facelift GT3 RS is added to that. About 4,500 vehicles were built of that model. And if you then move on to the facelift, the 0.2 models, the GT3 had 9,500 vehicles built. So even here, there's already a significant increase compared to the 0.1 models. With the 0.2 GT3 RS, we also see a slight increase, reaching 4,800 units. This means that overall, compared to the 997, where we had 7,600 vehicles, with the 991 across the entire model range, we have just under 25,000 GT3 vehicles in total, and that's a tremendous increase. It also appears that with its successor, the 992, this number will likely rise even further. The 911 GT3 was the first Porsche GT3 with rear axle steering. This means that the rear axle steers depending on the speed. Specifically between 50 and 80 kilometers per hour, the rear axle essentially steers in the opposite direction to the front axle. This makes the car feel as if it has a shorter wheelbase. And above 80 kilometers per hour, the rear axle then steers in the same direction as the front axle. And as a result, you get greater stability at high speeds, and it actually feels as if the car has a longer wheelbase, which also provides higher stability. And at lower speeds, you get greater agility, meaning the car feels noticeably more agile and sporty. Now, about the features. As always with the GT3, I've probably said it 100 times by now, it's always important to have the full bucket seats from the 918 Spider. You can see it here, I think, in the background. Then there's the lift system, which is also always very important because these cars are really low, and if you don't have it, you definitely won't be able to get into on driveways and will generally have problems, especially when driving in the city. Next up is the Club Sport package. It's always important that it's installed in the GT3. If you don't have these three things, it's always difficult to resell the car. And we always make sure whenever we buy a GT3 for our inventory that these three features are installed in the vehicle. So we've now arrived here at the Kirchberg Monastery. It's a really beautiful setting and the car looks absolutely fantastic here. You can already see the GT Silver Metallic when you take a look at it. It's truly an incredible color that, as mentioned before, looks so elegant but still embodies the sporty brand essence of the car. As already mentioned, here are the key facts. It's a 2018 model, still one without a particulate filter, 22,000 kilometers, second owner. I don't need to mention the features again. Of course, it has the Club Sport bucket seats and the lift system as well. And it also has some exclusive options, which I'll show you in a moment. First of all, we have the carbon side mirrors here. Inside, the exclusive options continue. In here, all the trim strips are made of carbon. We have the Porsche crest embroidered into the headrests. That always looks really nice too. And apart from that, what the previous owner did here, which I personally think is fantastic, is the seat center section. He had the seat centers upholstered in Pepita fabric. In other words, it's inspired by the F models from the 1970s. And I really think it looks very good. Unfortunately, you couldn't order it like that. But it really does look fantastic. And in combination with the silver exterior and the Pepita interior, it really makes an impression. Now, regarding the condition of the vehicle, it is really extremely well maintained. You can also see it up here on the edges at the front. The entire front was covered with stone chip protection film. We actually have almost no stone chips on the front at all. Also back here, stone chip protection film was applied all the way up to the edge here at the top, in addition to the one that comes from the factory. That's always really important with the GT3 because the standard one from Porsche is a bit too small, and then you always end up with stone chips around the edges of the protective film. And it's really nice that this area is also covered with film. In general, we also had the car up on the lift, checked everything, and it seems like the car has hardly been driven on the racetrack. Of course, you can never completely rule it out, and that's exactly where the car belongs anyway. But it has really been very well maintained, and I think you can also see in the pictures that it's truly a top-notch car. Yes, we're now back at the dealership. We really had a lot of fun with the car. I think the GT3 is simply a modern car. You really feel like you're on the racetrack in this vehicle, even if you're just driving on a country road. And it's definitely a car you can use a bit more in everyday life, where you don't have to be as careful as with a 997 GT3, worrying about getting stone chips. It can definitely take a bit of wear and tear. I had a great time, I hope you did too, and see you next time.